of Innovation, presented by our long-term sponsor, Applied Materials. I'm Tim Ritchie, president of the Tech, and it's my honor today to reveal the 10 new International Tech Awards laureates who will be recognized on November 14th in Silicon Valley's premier awards program, where we honor those who use technology to benefit humanity. Later today, you'll have a chance to engage with these exceptional people when you tweet in your questions in just a few moments. But first, a little background on the Tech Awards. The Tech Awards are given to organizations, institutions, and individuals that utilize technology to benefit humanity. What could be more important? As the world races to having over 9 billion people, how can we possibly survive unless we have technological solutions to the problems we face? The Tech Awards recognize achievements using technology in 5 areas: health, the environment, education, economic development, and a special award for young innovators who are using technology to benefit humanity. We call the winners in each category Tech Award laureates. Each year we bring the Tech Award laureates to Silicon Valley for a week of activities designed to expose them to potential funders, to social entrepreneurs, to corporate executives, to media researchers, students, and many others. We commission films about the laureates and their great work. We hold workshops, offer speaking opportunities and networking opportunities, and then connect them to Silicon Valley mentors. And at the end, we present a conference and an unbelievable gala, the best gala in all of Silicon Valley. During the gala, 2 cash prizes are awarded, $75,000 and $25,000 in each of the 5 categories: the Intel Environment Award, the Microsoft Education Award, the Swanson Young Innovator Award, the Nokia Health Award, and the Flextronics Economic Development Award. Since the inception of the program in 2001, 257 Tech Award laureates have been named. Today, we induct 10 more leading lights into this wonderful family. Some of them have joined us today, and you'll be hearing from them in a moment. But right now, I'd like to announce the winners. The Intel Environment Award. The 2 laureates are Antrix Corporation, Sujala Watershed Project. And Antrix, they address this problem. More than 2/3 of India's Karnataka state is drought prone, resulting in degraded natural resources and poverty. Their solution was to develop 12.8 million acres as a watershed development using biophysical, technological, and social interventions. The next Intel winner is Wecyclers. The problem here is that many households in the developing world lack reliable access to waste management. So they came up with a great solution: a low-cost cargo bicycle and SMS-based incentives platform offering convenient household recycling services in densely populated, low-income neighborhoods. For the Microsoft Education Award, Enova Learning and Innovation Network. The problem here is that 82 million people in Mexico do not have access to computers. So Enova came up with a learning and innovation network. These are educational centers providing computer access to more than 350,000 users. And then Globaloria. The problem that Globaloria is addressing is the educational divide that happens when people without means have lack of high-quality STEM, that's science, technology, engineering, and math, and digital learning opportunities. Their solution is to come up with a scalable digital game design and learning platform that they've coupled with a curriculum and professional development system that's easily integrated into any school. For the Katherine M. Swanson Young Innovator Award, a winner is Propongo. The problem here is in Mexico, that those without access to the internet have limited ways to voice their opinions on public policy. Propongo's solution is the video survey tool that engages 80,000 people in previously apathetic communities. And then TOHL. The problem that TOHL confronts is how do you provide access to water in remote areas? The solution is single segments pipelines have been manufactured on lengths of 500 meters to several kilometers that are loaded on the spools, which are then deployed by a helicopter or truck. For the Nokia Health Award, D-Rev Brilliance. The problem here is jaundice. Jaundice is a critical neonatal health issue. It affects 6.7 million newborns in the developing world. The solution is an affordable, state-of-the-art phototherapy device that actually cures jaundice. And Nazava water filters. The problem here is in Indonesia that 150 million people cannot afford safe drinking water. So they've come up with an easy-to-use household water filter that provides safe drinking water to 1 million people without the need for wood, propane, or electricity to boil the water. For the Flextronics Economic Development Award, the Darfur Stoves Project. The problem here is that people in refugee camps spend 1/3 of their income on fuel wood, often skipping meals for lack of fuel. The solution? An energy-saving metal stove, cook stove, adapted for local cooking traditions and assembled from flat kits that are easily stockpiled and deployed, benefiting 162,000 people in Darfur. And the Kilimo, Salama, Syngenta Foundation, the problem that they confront is that traditional agricultural insurance is too expensive for most farmers. So they've come up with a weather index insurance using proxies to estimate farm losses, without payouts, calculated automatically and sent via mobile phone to 100,000 farmers in Kenya and Rwanda. We are fortunate to have several of our laureates with us today. I'd like to give them a chance to introduce themselves and their projects, and then give the listening audience a chance to talk with them. For the Intel Environment Award, we have Wecyclers, and if you guys would introduce yourselves, please, and tell us a little bit about your project.
Hi, my name is Brilliance, and I'm here with some of the team from Wecyclers. Darfur is here. Rahman is here. And we also have Jonathan, our CTO, here. And we're really excited and very grateful for this opportunity. Like you said earlier, Wecyclers use low-cost cargo bicycles to collect waste from households in exchange for incentives via SMS. And we started about a year ago, and since then we've been able to register over 3,000 households collecting 100 tons of waste, and we're looking to expand and scale up our services throughout Lagos. Thank you.
Wonderful, thank you so much. And we'll get back to you with some questions in just a second, but I'd like to go to the Microsoft Education Award from Enova. If you would introduce yourself, please, and tell us a little bit about your project.
Yes, hello. I am actually representing Jorge Camille, who's the Laureate winner, who's currently attending the Clinton Global Initiative Conference. Is unable to be with us today, but he sends his highest regards and congratulations to the other laureates. To give you a bit of insight into what Enova does, we were founded in 2007 as a social enterprise, basically to attack Mexico's education crisis and help close the digital divide by bringing technology-based blended learning courses to Mexico's poorest urban neighborhoods. And we do that by designing, implementing, and operating a chain of 70 educational centers in the state of Mexico, known as the Red de Innovación y Aprendizaje, which is the Learning and Innovation Network which you referenced. In our first 4 months of operation in 2009, we saw 51,000 students sign up, so it was a huge success. And today we have now registered over 392,000 users and graduated over 123,000 students. We've taught over 19,000 courses and retained 68% of the students who enrolled originally. So we're very, very happy to be here.
Thank you for your great work. And then from Globaloria.
Hello, everyone. Congratulations to all the laureates. What an exciting day. My name is Edith Harrell Caperton. I'm the president and founder of Globaloria. Globaloria is a dynamic learning platform, or a MOOC, with courses on computer science, game design, and coding. And what makes Globaloria special is that we are blended learning and project-based learning online. And we are using industry standard tools to empower youth to bridge the digital divide and to give opportunities to maximize talent in STEM and computing and digital citizenship around the nation and the world. And we are active in schools, in after-school summer programs, and soon at home.
Thank you. And now on to the Katherine M. Swanson Young Innovator Award. And let's hear from Yo Propongo.
Hello, I'm real excited to be here. My name is Alejandro Maza, and I'm the founder of OPI Yo Propongo. We developed technological tools that enable citizens to connect with their governments in order to design better public policy. What we do is we use channels that are natural for the citizens to connect, and not only based on the internet, such as video surveys and text messaging, as well as social networks. And our technology allows us to deliver key learnings to policymakers in an agile and cost-effective ways that ensures that the citizens will be listened to. We're currently working in some of Mexico's most violence-afflicted neighborhoods and have allowed for more than 100,000 citizens to directly influence their government's decisions.
Very inspiring. Thank you so much. And for the Nokia Health Award, D-Rev, Brilliance.
Hi, I'm Krista Donaldson, the CEO of D-Rev. We are a product company that focuses on improving the income and health of people who live on less than $4 a day. We're being recognized for Brilliance, which is phototherapy, or blue light, to treat severely jaundiced babies. Now, globally, about 16% of babies in the developing world do not receive effective treatment, and Brilliance provides an affordable and high-quality way for them to do so. So 3 things to know about us is that we develop world-class products, so products that are on par with the best on the market, best in the world. We're market-driven, meaning that we don't believe in donations or subsidies. We want to design products that are radically affordable, that meet the needs of local markets. And then the last thing is we're user-centric, so we really understand the context of the hospitals that are our target markets. You know, voltage surges, power outages, high temperatures, high humidity, that sort of thing. And with Brilliance, it's been on the market for a little under a year, and it's already treated 7,000 babies in 6 countries.
Amazing impact. Thank you so much. And from Nazava water filters.
Yes. Hello, Silicon Valley. My name is Lisa. I'm the founder of Nazava water filters in Indonesia. It's here 1 a.m. in the morning, and I'm very glad to be with all of you. Just a bit about Nazava. Our mission is to provide safe and affordable drinking water to everyone, everywhere. And it's very much needed because in the whole world, every 3 seconds, a child dies of drinking dirty water. 21, 22, 23. 1 kid died because she drank dirty water. We want to stop this by enabling households to filter their well, tap, or rainwater and make it safe to drink. In Indonesia alone, there are 103 million people that cannot afford to buy safe drinking water. It means that the water in their house looks like this. It's dirty and you do not want to drink this. With our simple water filters, people can filter their tap, rain, and well water and make it safe to drink. Thereby we improve the health, we reduce their household costs, and we also create employment to our reseller network with our resellers that are spread all over Indonesia.
Thank you again for your great work. And now from the Darfur Stoves Project.
Hi, I'm Deborah Stein, and I'm representing Potential Energy. We're a nonprofit based in Berkeley, California, and our mission is to bring household energy technologies to women in developing countries. Our first initiative is the Darfur Stoves Project, and it was founded to improve the safety and livelihoods of women in the Darfur region of Sudan by providing them with fuel-efficient cook stoves that have been customized to their cooking needs. These stoves reduce the amount of firewood needed to cook meals, which means that it decreases the amount of money and even food rations that women are using to obtain fuel for cooking. And our work in Darfur would not be possible without our partners, Oxfam America, Lawrence Berkeley National Lab, and our Sudanese partner, Sustainable Action Group. So many thanks to them, and thank you to the Tech Awards for recognizing us.
Thank you for your great work. And finally, from the Kilimo Salama Syngenta Foundation. Someone from Syngenta?
Hi. My name is Rose Goslinger, and I'm the CEO of Kilimo Salama. Kilimo Salama is a project in Kenya. We are incubated by the Syngenta Foundation, which is a Swiss agricultural foundation. Kilimo Salama means safe agriculture. And what we do is that we insure farmers against the risks of the weather. So essentially, we insure the rains. That the rains are the thing that defines whether a farmer has an income and a good year, whether his kids are going to school, or whether this year their incomes are threatened, essentially, and whether they'll have enough food for their children and money for their children to go to school this year. So we insure that risk. We develop insurance products for them using weather stations and satellite information. Our farmers call our weather stations truth tellers, which should give you an idea how important they are to farmers, because they can objectively tell them whether we pay them or whether we don't. And we're extremely excited to be recognized by the Tech Awards, so thank you very much for that.
Well, it's actually our great honor to you and to all of you, and for the great work all of you do that really elevates human dignity around the world. You are inspiring to a lot of people who are out there watching you now, and we have some questions coming in. The first one comes from a 4th grade class in Monterey, California, and a student, Kim Cornfield, asks this, and perhaps we'll direct this question to Yo Propongo, which is, or maybe all of you, but let's just start, if you're going to, in fact, each of you should answer this, but do it fairly quickly. How's that? Who and what inspired you to create your innovative idea?
It was the fact that us citizens, every citizen, had a lot of information, but we couldn't actually deliver it to the government, and that made it for us to seem like a really simple solution. That was, well, let's just deliver it. So we tried it, and when we saw that one kid's proposal named Fernando actually came and became a law, we decided to start developing the whole platform and bring it to the whole country.
And then we can just go down the line. Globaloria, who inspired you?
Well, the inspiration is really the fact that there are maybe 15 million high school students and another 15 million middle school students in the United States, and many of them are not getting any experiences at all when they're in school in digital citizenship, in leadership with technology, in understanding the new reading and writing. The new reading and writing is coding. And only 20% of America's students are getting any computer science or STEM or coding experience and moderate complexity of mathematical thinking and complex informational texts in their school. So we created a platform that can allow every single student, all youth, boys and girls, no matter what their zip code is, to immerse themselves in cutting-edge style learning. Project-based learning of working in teams and building systems together so they can lead with technology, whether they end up working in education, in business, in government, in the social sector, or in health. So they can become the laureates of the future.
Thank you. And Wecyclers, what about your innovative idea? What inspired you?
So we always describe as a woman called Camille. She has 3 children, and she lives in the neighborhood of Lagos, and she struggles to dispose of her waste. You know, the local city operators rarely come to collect her waste, and she has to spend extra money to trash cart pushers who then walk down the street and dump the waste, in her community, and she worries about, the environment. And much of the waste ends up in waterways and drainage ditches, and it leads to pollution, flooding, and disease. And there are so many people like Camille in developing countries all around the world, and they struggle with waste. It's a daily battle for them, and there's so many implications for them. So there's health issues, problems like malaria, dengue fever. So we are trying to provide them with a way to empower themselves and their communities by getting value from their waste, so they can see the waste as not a nuisance, but as a way for them to get out of poverty.
And D-Rev, something about jaundice caught your attention and made you apply your brains and your hearts to this problem. What was it?
It was a doctor actually from India approaching us at a conference. So he said, you know, all these people are working on, you know, sepsis and all these other issues, but jaundice is really easy to treat, and there should be no baby anywhere who has brain damage or dies from such an easily treatable condition.
And then, Nazava, surely the water problem is terrific everywhere, but something grabbed your attention. What was it?
Yeah, I was living in Indonesia myself, and I wanted to have safe and affordable drinking water, and I had a really hard time. And then I thought, well, maybe I'm not the only person that needs safe and affordable drinking water, right? Maybe there are 240 million other people in Indonesia that have the same problem. So then we started to look into solutions, and we came up with a solution with a very simple water filter that enables the water to be treated and to remove all the bacteria. And then our neighbors and our friends were all so enthusiastic that we thought, like, well, let's start selling this product. And that's how it's, all started, actually. So we mostly identified the problem ourselves by living there.
Deborah Stein, the whole world is riveted by Darfur. How did you get started on your Darfur Stoves project?
So I think actually the scientists from the Lawrence Berkeley National Lab who designed the stove were really inspired by the women in Darfur when they found out the sacrifices that they were making just to get fuel to cook meals for their families.
And then Rose, the insurance product, it's a very interesting one. How did you think of it, and what was the inspiration?
I think Rose got dropped because I know she's got a hard connection.
Okay, sorry about that, but we'll be looking forward to hearing more about that in Silicon Valley. So there's a specific question for you, Wecyclers, from the listening audience. Are there plans to expand into neighboring regions, and what is the estimated coverage in the next couple of years?
So Wecyclers is definitely working on a scalable and replicable model that can be taken to any country and, you know, used waste. And we're definitely working to expand first in Lagos, Nigeria, and then other parts of the world. And we're looking, we're really pushing to have by 2016 2,000 Wecycles.
So the problem of scale is a big one for everybody. I would say that the challenge with population increasing as much as it's increasing really makes us wonder if these innovations can scale. So maybe we could have another person reflect on the challenge not only of doing something locally, but expanding it a great deal. So for instance, let's hear from Globaloria, for instance. I know that you're trying to scale up. Tell us what you're doing to try to scale your project to above and beyond who you're serving now. Oh, can you hear? I'm sorry.
Yes, we are designed for scaling. So we have been scaling from one state. We are now in 5 states. Do you hear me?
Yes, I can. Please
Hello?
go ahead.
Okay, great. The question is about scaling. We are scaling, we have been scaling from one state. We're now in 5 states and 50 schools. We hope to continue and scale from state to state. We have some good updates, and we are very focused on our school solutions that can equalize kids everywhere. We're also focused on our home solution, but our next place will probably be Israel, and in Israel we would like to work with both Jewish Israelis, Arab Israelis, and Palestinians, and from there to go to the Middle East. We are also having conversations about Brazil. We're looking at places where there is bandwidth and there is interest in learning the new writing. If coding is the new literacy, if STEM and computer science is really the new writing, then Globaloria is the way to become literate.
There's a technical, thank you. There's a technical question for the Darfur stove project. Can you briefly discuss the technology behind the stove?
Sure. So it's a metal cook stove, and it's been customized to meet the cooking needs of women in Darfur. So it can hold the different sizes of the pots that are used in Darfur for cooking. And it has a lot of modifications that have been specifically made based on feedback from the women. So, for example, it has feet on the bottom of the stove to stabilize it so that when the women cook their traditional porridge, the stove doesn't topple over. And it has other modifications that are made to modify the cook's behavior so that they're not using more wood than is needed. So for example, there's a firebox with a very small opening so that only a small amount of wood is necessary to put inside the stove when cooking.
Thank you. Here's a specific question for D-Rev, and that is, what have been some of the biggest challenges for implementing your innovation?
Well, there's a lot, and I actually loved the scaling question earlier, so hopefully I'll kind of address both. One of the things when we started the project, we were very interested in rural clinics because if you look at moms who give birth at home, which is a majority of the developing world still, we had this idea that, based on early research, that if you could put phototherapy in rural clinics and closer to where villages are, that would have the greatest impact. But as we did our field work, we actually learned that urban hospitals had the greatest need, and this was because bulbs with compact fluorescent-based devices burned out. So we did a lot. So, seeing challenges like that, I would say, on the market, in the context. But I would also say, like, in thinking about scale, we do a lot of due diligence on the front end to design for scale from the very beginning, to understand, like, where is the best place to have the greatest impact, and how do we scale, and what partners do we need. So, for example, with Brilliance, we bring it to market with our partner Phoenix Medical Systems in Chennai, India, and they do manufacturing, distribution, and sales now globally. So I would say the greatest challenge to implementation is the product. It's everything that goes around the product, like the market and the sales and tenders, which is how governments buy units and things like that.
And maybe the same question for Enova. What have been some of the biggest challenges for your implementing your innovation?
I think at this point we now have a very solid group of users who can speak to the benefits of attending our RIA centers. To date, I would say that marketing is one of our toughest challenges. It tends to revolve around word of mouth and making sure that people in their communities are communicating the importance of getting a quality education. But the value that people place on education is still debatable, and so what we're trying to do is boost our marketing techniques to go beyond word of mouth and go beyond giving out flyers to really make sure that these communities know that our RIA centers are there and what they can benefit from that.
Thank you. We are going to go a little bit longer. There's a lot of interest. We're getting a lot of questions, so if our laureates can stay with us and if our audience can stay with us for a little while, it'd be great. There is a specific question for Yo Propongo, and that is, what have been some of the challenges in generating public interest in what have seemed to be apathetic communities?
Right, and it has been that people lack confidence in government, and even if you tell them that we're going to take their proposals all the way to implementation, they don't trust us. So that has been a major challenge, and the way we faced it was using local people to actually engage their neighbors. Instead of bringing someone from outside the community, using leaders from within the community to engage their neighbors, and that way start building trust networks that can expand gradually in order to overcome this obstacle.
Wonderful. There is so much a need for creative confidence, and I'm sure a lot of you can resonate with that. There's some questions about funding as well. So Nazava water filters, what is your funding mechanism?
Our funding mechanism is that we sell the water filters, and we sell water filters to a reseller network where the resellers get a margin of 25 to 30%. So that gives them enough incentives to make enough profit on the water filters, and then they can sell the filters directly to their customers. So at this moment we have over 50 resellers all over Indonesia, and they are able to make our resellers are able to make like a monthly living from the sales of our water filters. For our organization so far, we have never received one subsidy. We invested first our own savings, and then we found some angel investors. But so far we have never received any subsidy. So we just try to be as soon profitable by selling as much water filters as possible.
Well, congratulations. I'm sure that's inspiring to everyone to think that there's a market for what you do for technology that benefits humanity. So speaking of markets, with respect to the Syngenta Foundation, how has the market received your insurance product, and is there a regulatory challenges you have to overcome?
So I would say that nobody, or in any case, well, actually nobody ever wakes up thinking, I want a new pair of insurance. Insurance is kind of a grudge buy, whether you're in the developed world or in the developing world. So we find that insurance is something that we generally package into products. So we work a lot with credit institutions, mobile phone operators, seed companies, and they'll package with their seed, they'll package the insurance. So for example, with seed companies, we'll find that we'll ensure that farmers can replant if it doesn't rain for the first month. That's the product that we sell, and that seems to be quite popular that way. Same for banks. Banks would like their loans to be insured. And in terms of regulation, we find that the regulators are actually really excited about having agriculture insurance because they see there's a need for it in the market. They see that the banks are in need for it, and they see that their countries are in need for taking some risk out of the agricultural sector, because agriculture is seen as a very important sector, particularly in countries like Kenya, where we have 70% of the population depending for their income on agriculture. If that income is essentially defined by risk of rainfall, then you want to do something about that risk. And so the regulators have been very supportive of products like ours.
So it sounds like you've experienced widespread acceptance of your product. Here's a general question maybe one of you could answer, which is, have any of you encountered resistance due to cultural challenges in the communities where you work?
Do you want me to answer that?
Anyone. That's an open question to anyone. It sounds like the insurance product has been widely accepted by the community and by the markets. Have any of your...
Not at all, actually. Like,
oh, really?
The communities aren't necessarily accepting of insurance. To give you an idea, we really have to convince farmers that they need insurance. We'll tell them stories like, we'll tell them stories that they can actually relate to what insurance is and why they would need it. For example, we'd say, if you have a house and the house is empty, would you put a lock on it? And then the farmers will respond, no, probably not, because the house is empty. There's nothing to protect. Then we tell them, well, what if the house, you had a very beautiful wife inside the house and you had a TV inside your house? Would you now want a lock on it? Would you want to protect it? And they say, well, definitely, I'd like to buy a lock. So by making such relatable stories, they see, well, if I'm going to invest in my farm and I'm going to buy seeds and fertilizers, then I actually might want to buy insurance. But if I don't invest in my farm and I'm not basically it's an empty house, then I might not want to buy insurance. But it's very key for your community to make the story or the product that you're selling something that they can relate to, and particularly if they've never bought the product before. In the markets where we work, the average rate of insurance penetration is 3%. That means that 3 out of 100 people in general will have some kind of insurance, be it car insurance or any type of insurance, frankly. So if you're implementing something that's so new, it's actually very difficult to implement, and you have to make it very relatable.
Same question.
Yeah,
actually.
I can add something to this.
Yeah, please do.
Yes, so when we started 7 years ago, our market, which was then the school market, people didn't really understand what education is or computing education is, and when we went to principals and superintendents and teachers and say, all of your students, all of them in the entire school really need to learn read and write, computer languages, how to be fluent in STEM, they just didn't understand it. And we educated our market to understand the value of it. We are obviously very successful in 95% completion of our courses and 85% of retention. Now everybody understands, right? This is the knowledge economy, the innovation economy. Teaching students these amazing skills to work together, then produce, aligned with Common Core. Challenge in our market is how to fit it in the school schedule. And while they now say, of course, we want to do it. Yes, this is awesome. This is great. How do we fit it in the schedule? When it's clear that if you want to learn how to read and write, students have to do it every day for an hour or two, every day for many years. And it's very hard to finish disrupting the rigid system and disrupting the rigid budgets. We're very proud with our accomplishments, but we should have been in millions of schools, and we're not there yet. So there is a long way to work with our market and educate it still.
Let me ask the same question to Wecyclers. It seems like such an interesting thing, but I wonder what the market penetration, so to speak, there is. How much are people picking up what you are trying to encourage them to do with your program?
So it's absolutely something that's very new. Many people that we speak with don't know what recycling is, and they don't understand the value of taking these materials off the street. So we are absolutely going in and changing people's behaviors. But we do see people really buying into the fact that they can create some value for themselves by collecting their waste and giving it to us. And it's not something that everybody is going to do. But we have seen that in the 1 year that we've been in operations, we've collected 104 tons from people. There's some people that started with us when we began our operations that are still collecting, and they're still recycling with us. So that's kind of the thing that we try to do, is we try to create long-term behavior change in the people that we work with.
Well, thank you very much. We only have a few minutes left, so I'm going to talk a little bit more about what you are going to be experiencing, Laureates, when you come here, and what the community could possibly experience if they come during the week of the Tech Awards. We are really grateful for the work you're doing in the world. You inspire us. You inspire the world. We need what you do, and we want to showcase it to everyone. So we look forward to seeing you on Thursday, of course, November 14th for the gala. And join us also as we celebrate a great innovator and inventor in this world, Dean Kamen, who has been named the Tech Awards 2013 Jane C. Morgan Global Humanitarian. He will receive that award, and some of his predecessors include people like Muhammad Yunus, Al Gore, Bill Gates, and so forth. And then throughout that week, we will have wonderful things for people to come to, a tech convergence here at the Tech Museum. So we look forward to seeing you. We're grateful for all your work. Thank you for your good questions, audience. Come see us at the Tech. Thank you very much.
Yo, well done.
Thank you.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye, everyone.
Bye.
Bye, and good night to those who are up late.
Thank you. See you soon. It's a pleasure.
Bye-bye.
Thanks.
It's the happiest week.
Thank you. Thank
All right.
you.